What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel again for another 3-week long without posting update. Driving Caden O'Neill's 6.0 Power Stroke right now. Did quite a bit of work to it. We put brakes all the way around on this thing. Rear wheel seal. Pretty much all new suspension except for a couple small pieces. New shocks. Thing's driving really good. Just need to go get it aligned and it'll be good to go. To the shop here, guys. Got the dually up front. Show you guys kind of what it looks like from the front. This is what we got in the back. Our truck's getting the whole front end. This is my pond. This is the Great Diamond Lake. All right, guys, here's a vehicle that was dropped off on the weekend, and customer complaint is a leaking head gasket. So right off the bat, I'm going to show you guys, before I even start the truck, anything like that, how we're going to check to see if we have a possible head gasket. We'll first have to verify that it's not the EGR putting pressure into the cooling system, but easiest way to tell, this thing's been sitting for 14, 16 hours, cold. Radiator hose is rock hard. There's definitely some exhaust gas getting into the coolant system because it should not be that hard. So we're gonna pull it around back and do a combustion check on it. We will check the coolant and see if there's any exhaust gas in it, which obviously there's gonna be. I mean, we know what's going on here, but we'll take all the necessary steps just to prove that. Excuse the mess on the floor. Was having to realign the steering wheel after all these new front end parts we got on it, but yeah, I just want to give you guys an update on the projects we have in. So we'll start in here and kind of go work our way into there. The first one here is a 97 Dodge 12 valve with a automatic 47 RV. The truck came in with, the gentleman basically just purchased the truck and brought it to us and said, just look it over, tell me what you want to do, what you would do. Let me know. I said, well, we had a massive oil leak on the side of the engine that was the tappet cover that's already been replaced, if you guys can tell, the new gasket. And I also warned him about the killer dowel pin, and because the front main was leaking, I told him we ought to go ahead and replace the I told him we ought to go ahead and replace the timing cover gasket. And look at that killer dowel pin. She was thinking about popping out pretty soon. I need to do that on my truck too. I haven't even checked it on mine, but the crazy thing is this truck is, I don't even know how many miles are on it, but 315,000. I'm gonna say that's the first time the cover's been off because it's never been addressed before. But yeah, that definitely explains. There was a lot of oil up here, guys, but we put the timing cover back on temporarily, tape everything off, and then we pressure wash the engine while it's apart. And why it's apart like this, so we can get the frame and everything real clean. We just kind of like to take the time to clean these up. Besides all that engine stuff, guys, we're also going to be doing a trans service on it. It's 47 RE. We're going to change the filter in it and put new fluid in it for him. Oil change. And I think this truck also needs a carrier bearing, but just to kind of bring you guys up to speed on that one. And over here we have a 2004 LLY Duramax that is going to be getting head gaskets. We are in the process of tearing it down right now, and about to the point where we need to do the valve covers and pull the injectors, the valve covers, get the heads off, and get them up to the machine shop to have them resurfaced and pressure checked. So before we go in there, I'll show you guys this rear end I have here. I would like to, sooner than later, get this swapped into the dually, my 97 dually. It is a disc brake rear end. The truck currently obviously has drum brakes, and it just makes more sense to me to put a disc brake rear end in it if I'm towing a lot, and I plan on keeping the truck. So I got this out of an 02. It's a Dana 80 disc. They're really hard to find. I basically bought the whole truck just for this rear end. And it also had a nice aluminum diff cover, the flat back. Gail Banks probably send me a letter in the mail for not running the correct one. Here we have 2005 Dodge that is getting an air dog today. I'm about to start on it once we get the forward all wrapped up. Like I said, I just got to go over a couple things on it, double check, triple check, and it can go out the door. And then this guy's getting an air dog 4G with a Beans diesel sump. So got to get some buckets cleaned up so we can get the fuel drained out of this thing, install the sump, and yeah, we'll be ready to stick this guy in. So hope you guys enjoy this little update. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Gonna show you a little project that we're just wrapping up, and customer's gonna be picking it up today. This is Zach Falvers. Sorry if I can't pronounce your name right, Zach. 2011 LML. Pulled this thing in, guys, last week just for a simple serpentine belt and thermostat replacement. We ended up doing a full front end on this thing, trans service, front and rear diff, front and rear diff service, and fresh four-wheel alignment. He was told that it needed some front end work, and under further investigation, everything in the front end was smoked. So we got new upper control arms, idler arm, pitman arm, lower ball joints, tie rod ends, tie rods. Everything is fresh, and we are just topping off all the fluids, making sure everything is good, and he is going to be able to pick this unit up. So this is a super clean truck, and thank you once again, Zach, for letting us work on it. But yeah, we're gonna get this thing ready to go home and start on the 12 valve, putting it back together, and we're waiting on the machine shop to reassemble this LLY Duramax we're doing head gaskets on. Got the heads off of it last week, got them to the machine shop, and they are getting started on those. So in the meantime, we are going to probably work on this Dodge a little bit today and get this thing ready to go home. Alrighty, guys, we got the LML outside and ready to go home, ready for the customer to pick it up. If any of you guys are in the central Indiana area and you're interested in having us work on your truck, for YouTube purposes, I will have to have you guys email in. If you want to, email us below, Dirty Diamond Diesel. Just leave a brief inquiry of what you're wanting to do, what kind of truck you have, and leave your phone number, and we will reach out and contact you. Guys, I absolutely love when I hear people call us and say, hey, when you guys work on my truck. I've had customers bring trucks from Ohio, Illinois, Michigan to do stuff, and that is just amazing to me that you guys are willing to make the drive because you want us to work on your truck, and that's awesome. Although there is a downfall to me offering this for you guys, is I will get tons and tons Facebook messages, phone calls, Instagram DMs, emails, and it's just people just wanting to basically just have an excuse to talk to us, and I love that, guys. That's cool. But please try and keep it strictly business. I get flooded with, like I said, guys, making quotes all the time for people that will never ever, basically had zero intentions of bringing the truck to us. It's just basically talk to us, and that's awesome. There's nothing wrong with that, but we got to keep it business, guys. So if you want us to work on your truck, that's awesome. Just send us an email to dirtydiamonddiesel@yahoo.com, and we can see if we can work with you to do whatever you want to on your truck. As you guys can see here, office is still kind of in the process of being finished out. We got the barn wood obviously hung up. The desk is done. Been using that for a while. Starting to get a little bit better of a system set up for our vehicles that are coming in and out, with our key racks and everything, and just how we're keeping track of everything. And this is definitely a learning process for me, getting this busy as we've gotten, trying to keep up with everything. Got parts shelving moved over here. We have all of our new parts, stuff for an LLY build that you guys have already seen here. We've got some ARP studs, new water pump, some grade C AC Delco gaskets, GM. I'm starting to stock some filters, not a lot, and then our fluids and consumables over here on this shelf. So just trying to cut down on those trips to the parts store for stupid little not stupid, but just small little jobs that we need stuff like that. Today we're gonna work on mainly, since we're waiting on the machine shop for the LOY, we're gonna get some parts cleaned up and painted for it when it's going back together. And then we're going to start reassembling this 97 12 valve for our buddy David. This is a really nice truck that he picked up, really cheap, got a good deal on it. And we're just going through and fixing some of the common oil leaks. We fixed the killer dowel pin, addressed that, new timing cover. Injection pump is reinstalled after we did the tappet cover. It had a ton of silicone on it where they were trying to get it to stop leaking without having to change it. So we're gonna start putting the front end back on this truck today. All right guys, while we have this thing down this far, we are going to also do a valve lash adjustment and new valve cover gaskets right here. Might as well do them. Pull these valve covers off, go through the valves real quick. We already have the engine at top dead center because we just got done retiming our injection pump. So we'll do half of them, rotate it 360, and do the other half. All right guys, I'm gonna show you real quick how to do a valve lash adjustment. In case I've never posted this, we've got a lot of videos on YouTube, but I don't know if I've ever went over this with you guys. So the first step is you need to find true top dead center on a 12 valve. The easiest way to do it is to reach behind underneath the injection pump. There's a timing pin you can pull out right here. And whenever the timing pin on the cam gear lines up with this dowel and it snaps in, you're on true top dead for number one. You can also verify by making sure that number one exhaust and intake valves are both loose. If these were tight, which if you're on that mark there, you're gonna be dead on. So on a common rail truck or other year, VP44 trucks, the easiest way is gonna be to look at the pump gear, pull it off. It's got a notch in it that'll tell you when it's at true top dead at 12 o'clock. Once again, verify that these are both loose. And then common rails will have an actual, common rail harmonic balancers only go on one way. So they have a dowel on them and they'll actually have a notch in it. So you can basically just line that notch up at the 12-degree position, verify that you are at true top dead with number one intake and exhaust valves being loose. Now, if you were in a common rail application and you had this at the top and these are both tight, you would need to rotate the engine another 360 degrees. Something that I always try and practice when I do head gaskets on common rails, and I'm kind of getting off topic here, is I like to find true top dead center before I take the truck apart, because it's a little, on common rails it can be a little trickier to get it back. So guys, I also like to mark all these with a paint marker, the ones I'm going to be doing first. And that'll give you an idea what you need to do so that way you don't forget. So I'll go through and do all these, and then I'll need to turn the engine 360 degrees to put number 6 on true top dead center, and then we will do the rest of the remaining valves, the ones that do not have a paint mark on them. So I have a little tool made up here. It's not necessarily patent pending, but it is something that I've used for many years at this point. So it's 10 thousandths on the intake valves and then 20 thousandths on the exhaust. So I have a little butterfly, or I'm sorry, a little butter knife that has these taped on it. So we'll check number one. Number one feels pretty good. You want a slight drag. If you guys have never used feeler gauges before, that is good there. Number two, let's check it. Or number one, exhaust. That's a little loose. We need to tighten that guy up a little bit. So it's a 9/16 wrench and a flathead screwdriver. We would just want a slight resistance on it, not too tight, but it is definitely too loose right now. So 20 thousandths on the exhaust valve. Alrighty, go ahead. Give the starter a break. Go ahead. That's what she needed. That's true. I better get an exhaust clip. That would sound way cooler. Yeah. Alrighty guys, we are filling this thing back up with coolant, and then we have a couple other small things we need to address. It had a plastic oil pressure gauge on it that I told him we need to take off. The factory oil pressure gauge does work. I don't know why they had that installed on there. We checked the breather box, made sure the filter was clean. We're gonna go over some of his vacuum lines to kind of clean those up a little bit. Kind of fix the exhaust a little bit. A couple of the hangers were messed up, so we kind of did the best we could with what we had without buying an exhaust kit. And yeah, we are getting ready to top this thing up. We're getting ready to top this thing off with coolant, make sure everything's good, and we will be sending it home. So without further ado, that is going to wrap up the end of this video, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for stopping by. And like I said, once again, if you were in the central Indiana area and you need diesel repair or auto repair, feel free to reach out. Email is below, dirtydiamonddiesel@yahoo.com. But we do appreciate it, guys. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one.